Welcome to this Easy Computer Fixes channel, and I want to talk today about RAM, or random access memory, which is part of pretty much every device we use in our lives, from the smartphone to the PC, laptops, and of course the RAM usage that we'll talk about today is the one that we can do something about it on most devices, and it's the RAM memory that's in our laptops and desktops. Now, there was a report today that up to a quarter of PCs have insufficient RAM memory. And what does that have as an effect? And how is RAM used on a PC? And it's really underestimated a lot. And I see it, as I'm a tech guy, with some of my clients that don't understand that one of the reasons the PC is slow is that there's not enough RAM memory. So basically, RAM is the workspace of your PC. When you use your computer, the operating system will be using the RAM memory as you are doing your tasks. And the reason it's using RAM is because it is so fast that is what makes the operating system do operations the fastest that it can. Now, if you don't have enough memory, one of the biggest problems that this will actually have, the impact that it will have, is simply that the computer needs to compensate the lack of RAM by using your hard drive. And to give you an idea, a hard drive is hundreds of times slower than RAM memory access. So of course that means your computer will slow down a lot because it needs to compensate. So to give you an idea here of RAM usage, I'm just going to show you with my task manager here. You can see here this is the amount of RAM that I have, which is 8 gigabytes on this machine. And it, of course, in here tells you how much I'm using. So I'm using 2.2 gigabytes out of 8 gigabytes of RAM. So what's happening is that I have, in this case, enough RAM. You see that available says 5.7. I have enough RAM to run my computer with what I'm doing right now. And of course, the amount of memory that you need depends on what you'll be doing, basically. So what does that mean? If you are a low usage type user of a PC, so for example, all you do is email, internet, stuff like that, browse the web a little bit, but not much more, you might not need as much RAM as, say, somebody that has Photoshop, deals with very, very large files or pictures, or deals with video. So it all depends on your own usage. What's the general rule? My general rule, because I've, as a tech guy, kind of seen the general rule for most users. If you're a basic user, internet access, email, web browsing, not much more than that, the casual little game here and there, I would say that the minimum requirement that you should check for today, 8 gigabytes is the minimum. Now, if you have 4, you might be okay, because 4 for the basic functionalities might actually be enough. But in 2017, if you buy a new PC, I'd say make sure you got at least 8. With 8, for most users, and I'd say that at 8 gigabytes, the majority of users will never need more RAM than that on their PC. Of course, heavy user, gamer, Photoshopper, video, whatever, well, maybe getting more is more interesting, like 16 gigabytes, for example. So it all depends really on your usage. But in a general rule, 8 gigabytes will be, for most people, enough. And even 4 might actually be okay. But one thing that I will really point out here is that less than 4 is not enough. You really, really need at least 4 gigabytes. If your PC does not have 4 gigabytes, it will run slow for most people. Now, the good news is that for most PCs, and I really stress out most, because today more and more computers come with the fact that it's very difficult to do anything. But most PCs, most laptops, and most desktop computers let you add RAM. So basically, you can actually improve that by adding more memory. Memory comes in little modules, depending on if it's a laptop or a desktop. They're not the same, so better leave that to somebody that knows what he's doing. But it's easy to actually add RAM for most computers. The only thing you need to know is the type of RAM, the speed of the RAM. So here, for example, I've got DDR3 running at 1600 megahertz. So, that is an indication of the type of RAM that I might need. This is a laptop, so I'll need SODIMM RAM, meaning that they are smaller modules. On a desktop, of course, there will be regular, bigger modules, at least twice the length of what a laptop uses in general. But, check it out and to make sure that you've got enough memory. And the task manager is a great place to start to understand if you've got enough memory, because it's telling you how much you're using at a specific point in time. So, fire up all the applications you use and look at the task manager, look at the memory usage of the task manager, and that will kind of tell you if you need more RAM or not. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.